Alright, both are working. Alright, that one's working. And that one's working. Alright. Honestly, I have no idea how these systems work. Guess that's... It's doable, I guess. Blip, blop, bloop. We are going into the birds. We are live! Huzzah! I'm streaming to 3 different individual platforms. Because why not? It's fun and interesting. Alright. Cast a wide net, as they say. Prehensile radar. Okay. So I'm going to be heading over to Hurston. Ooh, it's so weird seeing all the different little screens doing its thing. I'll fly the Prowler utility because I want to do some stuff in Hurston with it. Oh wait, hang on. I'm going to store my stuff really quick, including the rocket launcher. Yeah, I'll bring the rocket launcher and keep it here. Where's my arc light? There it is. Switch off with the frag. I was running some 890 jump boarding missions with some lads the other day. It was pretty neat. Funny enough, one of them made the mistake of throwing a grenade inside the 890 jump and got themselves a tier 3 crime stat. It was funny. And then as we were like sitting around trying to figure out what to do, because they didn't want to keep the crime stat because they wanted to go back to the station. We're like, well, one of us can accept the bounty mission since you're tier 3, it pops up on the mission board, and one of us can just kill you. So as we're all discussing it, some random person comes out of nowhere in a F7 Mark II. Don't know which variant it was because didn't really care to stick around to find out. Started to shoot at us, and as soon as I heard the noises going on, I was like, "Oh shit, someone's coming!" So I run right for the bridge and got us out of there as quick as possible. We were in the Starlancer attack, and it was surprisingly really tough. The guy had the whole shebang, full PvP kit, the Revenant Gatlings and NDB blasters, and yeah, and we survived it with him just drilling into our back for like 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, I would say. No, under a minute. That seems way too high, way too long. But he did get our hull down into the critical red, but thankfully the ship wasn't like going and like sparking off and whatnot on the inside, so that means it wasn't close to dead yet, thankfully. But yeah, it was funny, like, hey, he wanted your bounty too. Alright. Me and the lads are stationed in ArcCorp currently because they like ArcCorp. But I have activities planned for Hurston right now. Ship is nice. Though I wish I could change the icons for the ship stuff, like the jump points. I get the red theme, but when you have 2 different shades of red for stop and go, you can see where that could be a problem. CIG. I know you like messing around with these themes and stuff, but you really need to put more consideration into how you go about these UIs. Red plus red does not equal good. There we go. You know what's cool about this? I could turn the viewport off for some reason. I don't know what purpose that would be unless you're in combat and someone manages to knock your viewport off. You could turn it back on, I guess. Such a pretty sight. You know, this is the one thing that CIG nailed, like really nailed, like hit the ballpark with, is that the looks of this game, so good. How's Everest with Hull C? Kill thrusters when you come to a full stop. Anyone here have an Idris? I wish I had an Idris. I am a fanboy of big ships. Boy, the sight of an Idris is something to behold. I'm content with my Polaris, but man, if I had the money, I would definitely own an Idris. The Kraken's cool, but I like the Idris more. I guess we'll have to wait and see what the Kraken looks like. CIG stated that they have put it in pre-production right now, so they were starting to work on it. And I guess that's a good thing. It's a shame that the Banu Merchantman is still nowhere to be seen. Glares beams at CIG. Just, you were working on it then, and you just stopped working on it ever since. Like, oh, what? The Idris? Nah, it's fine. Like, as much as I like the Idris, it is a sight to behold, but it requires long-term use for what I want to do with it. And what I want to do with it is essentially rock mining. It's a very practical use for such a ship. But man, would that be awesome. Just the big old frigate being used as a carry-all for little what's it called? Rock miners and stuff. But yeah, that would be very neat. But I'm content with my players. Oh, the Idris? Yeah. Rock mining can be boring. I will agree with that if that's what you were saying. But if you were talking about the Idris being boring, I could also see that too. Because unless you have the boys with you to man the turrets and go into combat, that's also pushing the envelope. It's just a glorified flying house, essentially. But no, I was talking about the Idris. The Polaris can be boring here too, here and there. I mean, it is a context that can be applied to any ship. But I'm pretty sure I knew what you meant when you said it's boring, and that is rock mining. I could 100% agree on that. But it's the kind of boring that is for some reason enjoyable at the same time. But I will heavily emphasize if it works, when it works. When it's not working, it's the boredom that's the situation of it's just wasting my time. Why am I still doing this if I can't even make at least some amount of money off of this? The Polaris is really nice to use when it comes to rock mining. It's like you can have a whole like fleet of ROCs inside. And now with the ATLS Geo, now you got a full-on mining division just carrying around in the underside. And on the top side, you could have a prospector in there and have some spare cargo containers in the back. And who the hell is lighting that up? I'm going to assume that's a lighting bug, but whoever ship that is has insane headlights. Talk about high beams on a whole nother level. Oh, the Idris is boring? Yeah. That's one of the things also when it comes to the Idris is as much as I like it and as much as I want one, I could definitely see it being boring. Because there's really not much for you to do with it. It's just a giant... Yeah. Especially solo. Like, this is the thing. The combat in this game can be good, but the problem is there's just not enough of it. Or not as enjoyable as it could be, if that makes any amount of sense. The PvE, to get good space combat, you have to go through the bounty hunter missions, through like ERTs and stuff like that, right? Like they added this new like mission gauntlet thing in the mercenary tab here. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. It's somewhere here. Gauntlet, scenario 1, single targets, and then I guess you got to go through all of it to get to the capital ship encounter. But even then, it's like there's just not enough space combat, in my opinion, in this game. And then this game could be very enjoyable if they just flesh out the content. More missions, more activities, more things to do. Like, I know that's what they're doing right now, but it feels like they're mixing up their priorities. But that's just me. My shields were down. I forgot why I came down to Hearst. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to do some stuff with the Starfarer. I'm doing prep work right now. So once I'm done with my prep work, I'm going to take the Prowler up to Everest Harbor, set my spawn there, and I will scout out the Hathor locations. I was wanting to do some well, we were trying to do some Hathor locations last night with the lads, but every single location we came across had ships and players, and we don't do PvP. We're not interested in it, and we're not really that good enough, to be honest, to do PvP. Like, it's not that we're terrible at it, but it's just one person out of our group is into PvP and can do it. Me, I'm experienced with this game. I've been playing it for years, and I could potentially participate in it, but the other two are inexperienced and not really that interested. So it's like, we want to do Hathor, but we don't want to deal with the PvP, because it's like we are willing to put up with everything else but the PvP, and we're trying to avoid people and whatnot, but it was not happening. Also, I got a phone call. 1 second. I have to go grab something really quick. I'll be right back. I'll call up one of my ships that I was going to work on first before I step away. Oh, damn it. Alright, you know what? I'll be right back really quick. I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to help with the groceries. Alright. I was going to... Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't know if I have enough. Nah, it's okay. Because I got plans for money making after I'm done with all these little fiddly bit things that I'm doing right now. I'm going to do some hauling missions with the Max. Because we're making some really good money just doing those missions, like a couple of 100K here and there, and that was splitting it amongst 3 people too. And with those missions, all you had to do with the Max was basically grab all the little fiddly bit missions that basically go from station to landing zone and deposit. They don't really offer they don't really offer that much money individually, but if you have a ship like the Starlancer Max or anything bigger, that you could really cram pack them full of those individual tiny contracts, you could make bank. And that's what I plan on doing later. That's why I'm also willing to put a purchase in really quick. Oh, wait. I'm doing a lot of back and forth. My mind's all scattered about right now. I want to do a quick double check. Because I don't want to buy the same vehicle again. And the vehicle in question is the Ursa Rover Medevac. I want to make sure that I have it or I don't have it. So that way I, like, you know, buy it if I don't. And if I do, pull it out. Because my plans is, well, the prep work involves 2 ships. One is the Reclaimer, one is the Starfarer. The Reclaimer, load the Medivac into the Reclaimer. Okay, I do not have the Ursa Rover Medevac. That's okay. But yeah, so what's it called? Objectives had been amended. Purchase Medivac, load pull Medivac out, and then load it into the Reclaimer. And the reason why I'm doing this is that whenever I want to play around with salvage later, and I head out to the Aryan Halo Belt, I don't have to keep coming back when I run out of foodstuffs. Because you will eventually run out of foodstuffs. And I don't feel like packing my backpack with 600 plus cruise lux. Like, no thank you. And plus, I would rather have a respawn point on the Reclaimer. So that way, if I die for some reason, because you will eventually die on there, somehow, you either get stuck, or get eaten by the geometry, or fall through the ladder, it's always best to have a respawn point. But you look at that, it's only 100k. I bought it last patch, but apparently I don't own it no more. But other people have lost more stuff than I did in the update, so I can't complain. Man, that really sucks. When 4.2 launched, the amount of chatter in global chat solely on the topic of I lost all my stuff, I lost all my ships, was surprising. Like, more time I saw that was the most amount of trying to piece it together properly. There was more of that happening. People have lost more stuff than they have in previous other patches. And that is surprising. But I guess that's being hyperbolic. I think previous other patches have done way worse in terms of item loss. And I'm not even talking about like back in the olden days before they were doing this kind of stuff. I think it's just their persistence, their data persistence or whatever is unreliable. But good news, lads. They mostly somewhat fixed the bouncing problem with the ground vehicles. Now they're not going to be as bouncy that much compared to last time. It's still bouncy. Honestly, one of the ships I'm absolutely looking forward to seeing release and potentially fly is the Perseus. Oh man, I can't wait for that ship to come out. And it's not because, oh, it has big fancy guns and pretty impressive armament, like size 5, like 4 size 5 torpedo tubes, 4 size, they were size 7s, but I think they recently bumped it up to size 8s. The guns are impressive, but it's not the guns that I want from the ship. I want it because it looks awesome, and it looks like it would be a great daily driver. Like the Hammerhead was. I love the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead was such a nice ship. I don't own it no more because that was the placeholder for the Polaris, and now that the Polaris is out, Don't got the Hammerhead no more. Rest in peace, Hammerhead. You will be duly missed greatly. Alright, Ursa Rover has been acquired and parked. Now we gotta go through the annoying process of putting it onto the reclaimer. It's an annoying process because it's like a millimeter, like too high to fit through the bay of the reclaimer, like the doorway. And ages ago, before any of this stuff was added, and before we had even persistent hangers and stuff, like just in the olden days, I was able to load the Ursa Rover into the reclaimer without any issue going through the door. That's the thing I don't understand. Like, is the Medivac in particular a little bit taller than the base Ursa Rover? I can understand that, because it's a variant, and variants differ in hull shape sometimes. But if it's the same hull, like if it's the same hull but just different internals, then what changed with the reclaimer? I mean, I'm saying this, but I haven't even done a test on the base Ursa Rover yet, which I probably should. I just never pulled the Ursa Rover out for the reclaimer because I never had a reason to. But I should probably pull out a base Ursa Rover to do a scientific controlled comparison between the Medivac and the base model. Because when I say I was able to do it a long time ago, I mean, like, this was before handheld tractor beams, to be honest. And what happened was you would load the Ursa Rover sideways onto the lift, and you would have little to no room to get it, to rotate it, to get it into the actual, like, bay. But because the reclaimer is special and that it's packed full of bugs and poor optimization, the walls around the elevator shaft, the walls basically they had no physics. Vehicles can pass right through them. Players, vehicles, you pick. But like, that has been fixed now. But the problem is, I feel that they monkeyed with something on the reclaimer that added some lippage to the doors, or through the bay itself, like the doorways themselves. Like here, y'all will see once I start loading this thing in, because this is the stuff I have to put up with when I want to do what I want to do. And this is not efficient, obviously. There are better ways to doing it, but this is the way I want to do it. But like, when it comes to, let's say, the reclaimer's internal bays, for some reason you can't fit the ATLS through the doorways, even though you're not in it. Like, I can understand not being able to fit the ATLS through the doors if you're inside the ATLS, but if the ATLS is in standby mode and it's, you know, standby, it's no players in it, so it's in the retracted form. Why in the world are you not able to, you know, oh, I forgot my tractor beam tool. I think I have a spare somewhere. Okay, so I need a tractor beam tool for this thing. My handheld will not cut it because it's just too weak, which is okay. Random tangent on the topic of the tractor beams. I don't get the frustration and complaint. Well, I can understand the frustrations. I don't get the complaints about people making when they're saying CIG nerfed the handheld tools when they made it weaker. It's like, yeah, I could see how that could be frustrating, but they made the tractor beam, the bigger tractor beam tools a bit stronger, than it was, so it's different than the handheld. And why wouldn't you want it to be different? Because the duality of people sometimes with Star Citizen is just impressive sometimes. They complain about one thing, but when CIG does the thing that they're complaining about, they start complaining about the thing that they wanted being actually implemented. Or they complain that change was actually done. I do not have a tractor beam. That's okay. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to have to wing it. There is so much lack of preparedness. But yeah, like, they nerfed the handheld tractor beam. Now it's weaker and stuff to make the rifle valid and stuff. It's like, isn't that the point? Like, isn't that the point of... People were complaining that there was no reason to use the tractor beam rifle. And then when they nerfed the tractor beam handheld, because honestly, for what it was a little bit strong for what it was. People were like, oh, now they nerfed it. It's like, why? Why are you complaining about this when you were complaining about the other thing? Oh boy. This is a problem. The handheld tool is not strong enough to deal with that. I forgot my rifle. You know what? We'll wing it. Alright? And if it don't work, and we die, we'll be, I guess, back at the genie. You know what, here, I'll show you the old school way of... Actually, no. You know, I'm gonna abandon... I'm gonna abandon this effort for now, because I was not prepared. I completely forgot my tractor beam tool back at Bajini, and without it, this little operation is impossible. So I'm just gonna park the Ursa Rover here and then move on to the Starfarer. You win this time, CIG. And also, naysayers. There are a lot of people who, well, there are people who find loading the Ursa Rover into the Reclaimer impractical and useless. Even though I don't see why you wouldn't want a respawn point on the Reclaimer when you're doing stuff and operating in general on that said ship. Like, why wouldn't you want a respawn point on your ship is beyond me, but that's okay. No, but yeah, like, oh yeah. Next ship we're gonna do prep work, now that we're not doing the Reclaimer, is the Gemini. I like to do it, I like to use this thing occasionally for cargo hauling, because it has a wee bit more capacity than the Starlancer Max. The only thing is, I prefer to remove the fuel pods and the nozzle before actual use. But it seems I can't remove the nozzle this time, for some reason. And the nozzle is too big to be put into the cargo bay, I believe. Alright, pods have been removed. We will try and attempt to remove the nozzle ourselves. Frankly, I don't care if I lose the nozzle, because I know of several locations that sell the things. Plus, if anything, I could take that opportunity to buy a much more efficient nozzle, I guess. Unless there's just like one does this better and the other one does the other thing better situation. Which that's fine. That's fine as well. Alright, I'm gonna switch up the music really quick. Oh dear. Alright, that works. One second. See, I want a compilation of the soundtrack. But I guess not. Because I like the music, but mm, there's the ship. She's up, but I want different soundtrack. Why not? Twitch and YouTube will probably dislike me playing this music in the background, but meh. I say meh. Why not? These platforms be like, but it's music that we don't want you to play this music, even though it's barely audible and it's just ambient. But our robot detectors have detected slight traces of this song. Like, I understand that it's to prevent people from illegally misappropriating the product and this or that, but man, it's just... Heck, I have... Like, even... It's so annoying. So, if you buy a soundtrack, and you want to, like, let's say we're doing streaming stuff, we're playing Star System, we want to jam out to some nice Halo 1 Comet Evolved tunes, I can't do that, even though I bought the soundtrack. Because... not allowed, I guess. You're only allowed to listen to music you buy privately. You're not allowed to share it. Even though I understand that when you stream or do videos, it is recorded and posted, and that is the thing that they most likely are not happy about. I don't like the ports. Configuration. Enable couple mode. Where're the ports? I had the keybind set, but maybe the keybind's not properly set. Advanced controls. Well, here's a little tutorial on how to change your keybinds, I guess. You go to controls, cockpit, lock and lock doors, port, lock, toggle, alt. Okay. Why aren't the ports unlocked? Are we just not able to unlock the ports? Unless the ports are unlocked and it's just not showing up because of a HUD issue. Close exterior, open exterior, press to unlock. Yeah, the port thing should be up on the top left. I'm narrowing, you can't see it, but I'm narrowing my eyes suspiciously right now. This is a problem because I can't use this thing for cargo if I can't remove the nozzle, because the nozzle blocks the path. There, you'll see in a second. Kablam! Door open. It's a really cool door. Yeah, see? It blocks it. Well, it doesn't block it by much, but still, I don't like that it's there. Well, I guess the ports are unlocked. It just didn't say it was. Oh, wait, here, maybe I can finagle it into the cargo lift. Unless I am actually right in that it does not fit in the lift. You know what? We'll find out. Check it out. Look, here we go. I'm slowly making my way to the lift. They did a really nice job on this. Like, the nozzle looks nice and the system is pretty cool, but do we have much incentive to... Okay, it does fit. and it's gone. I'm just gonna assume it is magically in the lift, and I'll send the lift down. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the stream. My fuel nozzle disappeared. Oh, hey. CR60, CR60. Yes, yes, yes. I can hear it in your eyes that I am the music core. Oh dear. Not good. Very not good. Well, I lost the fuel nozzle. Oh well, what can you do? Alright, so the Starfarer has been set up for cargo. Excellent. I will send it down. I'm going to send it down and retrieve the Asperia Prowler. Utility variant, I mean. There she goes. Oh, I forgot to turn the engines off. Oh well. That's the ground crew's problem now. And the ports are probably still unlocked, but oh well. It's good to know that the port thing is working, but I wish the message worked. But it's Star Citizen. It doesn't surprise me that things aren't working properly. We are not crazy. You are crazy for expecting the game to work. You know, the way I like to look at Star Citizen is kind of like how I like to look at Sea of Thieves, and that is it's a fun game to chill out with the lads and run around and collect loot in your ship. And there are some parallels, even though those two games are vastly different in many, many ways. But there are parallels. And if anything, Star Citizen's in a way similar. Star Citizen shares some parallels to VRChat in a way. No Man's Sky is nice. I like it. I got bored with No Man's Sky though, because I don't know why. I need to play it more. Not gonna lie, I should. But one thing I wish Star Citizen could follow in after No Man's Sky is the elements of exploration. That is what exploration is. Going to places where people either haven't been or been before and discovering new things that they missed. That is the epitome of exploration. Going into the unknown. And going into the known to find the unknowns. Like, that's it. Like, there's a lot of exploration to be had in Star Citizen, but it's just very unsubstantial. It's a big nothing burger. And it's not, I'm not even trying to say that in like a bad way to criticize the game. It's just stating the fact of there's really nothing to do. And I will criticize the new Stormbreaker event. That is not exploration. That is going, like, CIG called it exploration gameplay. But they are, I'm being polite, they are daft if they think that is exploration content, which is not. It's not exploration content because these are predetermined locations that anyone can go to that has access to at any point. It's like going to a marked cave. You're not exploring this cave because you could. It's not rocket science. It's like you have to find it. That's the whole point of exploration, is the finding the thing in the first place. If there's a point to conveniently point you in that direction, then it's like, sorry, you're not exploring. It's like you're like, let's say the caves, the pre-marked caves, like it's not exploring when you find the caves. But when you go in the caves, that's kind of like exploration. But that is up to personal interpretation. And hey, look, rain! This is the first time I've ever seen the rain. Oh, and you know what? Listening to the Odyssey soundtrack, it is really fitting. I'm going to fly around in this rain a little bit more. I'm going to be quiet for a second. Just enjoy it, lads. Enjoy this moment. Okay, the moment has passed. Look at that. It's like rain on the visor. No, but yeah, so... yeah, that's the thing I like about Star Citizen is that the gameplay elements are still wishy-washy, still need lots of refinement, but it is a very pretty game. It's like, you can't deny that. But back to my rant about exploration with Stormbreakers. Like, no, that... CIG, I'm not trying to be rude, but that is not exploration content. That is theme park content. You're telling us where to go to check out the sites, do some activities here and there, and then we go, you send us off to fight a raid boss. And I'm not, like, demeaning the event in any other way by saying this. I'm just, you have to state the blatant, obvious facts of the situation. And frankly, that is what it is. And that, it's fine, honestly. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's okay to have theme park content in a game, including Star Citizen. My thing, I would say on that matter is, you have to have more content to it too, though. Like, you can't just have that. Like, the reason why I'm talking about that, oh yeah, at least Starfield, in my opinion, felt like a big fat theme park. The story felt like a nothing burger. The performance was mediocre. Even on my mediocre rig, it was not that great. And yeah, the writing and the story was mediocre. The game itself was enjoyable, I have to admit. It was pretty fun to play here and there. But once I finished all the story content and all the missions and stuff, I was like, well, there's nothing really else for me to do besides just play around with the ship builder and whatnot. Bethesda kind of missed the mark on that one. But it didn't entirely flop, so they're still a little bit afloat because of it. Which is a good thing, I guess. I don't know. It's Bethesda. Modern Bethesda just lost their charm, I guess. No, but yeah. Like, people are saying no theme park content. More this or more that. Like, I can agree on some of the matters, but there needs to be a balance. And I feel like CIG are focusing too much on events. And these events are too much like theme park content. Because, like, here, I'm heading to Hathor right now. Like, I'm currently scouting these places out because I want to check out... oh, wait, I forgot to set my spawn on Evers. Oh, well. My spawn point was set to the TAC, and if I die, I'll be sent back to Lorville, which is fine. It's in the same area. Same neighborhood. But, the thing with Hathor, Rupture RPAF, these are ground locations you have to go to retrieve key cards and batteries. Take these key cards to access warehouses on these ground locations, and then after, like, you unlock these big AA batteries, these giant truck-sized batteries, you take it up to the space station up above, up there, you see it at the top. Take it to there, and you plug the batteries in, and once the batteries are plugged into the giant laser pointer, you come down here somewhere, and then you push a button, and it shoots the laser pointer down into the ground, and opens up a little cave for you to get goodies. It sounds cool. It sounds like a pretty decent opportunity for loot and stuff, but the problem is that it's not much to. Oh, hey, they activated it. There we go. Now I can see around me. My ship has a 4.2k to 1.8 kilometer detection range. And that's nice. Yeah, the experience isn't really all that special. Like, it's special when you do it. And it is repeatable. But the problem is, and the biggest problem that I have with all of this, air quotes, I'm doing the gesture, sandbox content that they heavily emphasize on, is you could be interrupted at any point. And people are like, oh yeah, but that's the point. High risk, high reward. Like, but I don't want the risk and I don't care about the high reward. Like, that's the thing. I just want to do the activity. I don't care about, like, the loot that you get from is pretty cool, but I just want the activity. And I personally am not a PvPer. I don't like PvP content. I don't like shooting other players. I like to cooperate with them and whatnot. But heaven forbid if I go to the Spectrum or Reddit threads and say anything about that matter, because you'll be called a Care Bear. They'll point their finger at you and call you Care Bear because, oh, you don't like PvP content. But it's like, it's not unreasonable though. It's like this game, CIG has, and I'm going on a long rant about the PvP and PvE debate right now, but CIG has stated in the beginning that this game was supposed to be for everybody. PvPers, PvEers, lawful players, unlawful players. And the problem is, it feels like they're only catering to the PvPers. And I'm talking about in terms of generality, like with Hathor. If I want to do Hathor, like right now, I have a high risk of being attacked by some random person who just who's either probably bored or has nothing else better to do. Like right now, I bet they're trailing me right now. Because, yeah, they're up there somewhere. Thankfully, my ship is a stealth ship, so unless they see me visually or they've already seen me, I'm invisible to them right now, which is nice. That's one of the reasons why I got this thing. But yeah, I can't really leave my ship and participate in these activities, or else I'll just be shot on sight by these people who are trying to do the event. And I personally don't blame them, because I would probably do the same thing too, because that's just the unfortunate state of the game. And you can't say anything on this matter because PvP is like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. That's what the CIG has a vision from the get-go. It's like, it doesn't work. Death is too punishing. I'm going to say that right now. And I'm not even talking about the matter of losing your stuff anymore. Personally, I think Tier 0 should stay in the game. And I'm talking about on the grounds of, one, death is too punishing. When you die, you waste so much time. And that's the thing that a lot of these anti-Tier 0 people who make these arguments against the thing don't seem to understand, is that I personally don't care about losing some random junk that I put together in an expendable build, an expendable kit, no less, where I'm expecting to die and lose everything on me. And I wear this stuff because it's cheap and expendable. I don't care if I lose that stuff. What I care about is losing my time. And frankly, even though I say I didn't care about losing that stuff, I still kind of care, because that's money going out of the pocket, and that's also time that I'm spending to get that stuff back. Because even when I die, I still try to get the stuff back, even though it said it was expendable. I don't like losing things. And it's not just a me problem either. It's like no one wants to lose the thing they spent money for. Like, if you bought, if you spent $5 to buy a fancy, pretty looking helmet, you should not face the consequence of permanently losing it in game, because you spent real money on that. You could get into the weeds of that argument and conversation at another time, but you should not lose that, period. Same thing with ships that you bought on the store with real money. You should not lose them, period. You spent money on it, you keep it. We live in a time where games you buy, you don't keep. So why should we lose The items we buy, we don't keep. I mean, technically, you could argue when the game shuts down, you lose those too. But that's a different thing. Like, I went on a oh yeah, what's it called? I'm winding up a spool, and the spool kind of came untangled, but I fixed the untangle. Essentially, the thing with Tier 0 and why I bring it is we should keep this in the game, because now death isn't as punishing as it is or was. Because right now, if the game worked, and I will say this every single time I bring this up or even mention it to somebody, if the game worked, and if it did the Bethesda it just works thing, and it actually works, and we don't die to random nonsense like falling through the planet when we step off our ship, or bumping into a door and then collapsing into like nothingness, or exiting an airlock on a ship and just spontaneously dying, even though you had your helmet on. Oh, you stubbed your toe, your guy couldn't handle it, and he had a heart attack and spontaneously died. It's like, we died to so much bullshit in this game that it's not even funny, and like people conveniently leave those bits of information out. Also, I'm heading back to, let's see, oh yes, ArcCorp. I'm gonna do some hauling there. But yeah, people who are against Tier 0 conveniently leave out the fact that we die to everything in this game, whether it's through our mistakes or out of our control. And that is extremely disingenuous in my opinion. And that is the thing I just can't stand with some of these players. Like, you're being disingenuous because it's against the thing you like. I can understand that you don't like that it's against the thing you like. I understand that. But the thing is, compromise has to be made. Like, PvE is being heavily compromised for the sake of just attracting more people. And the reason why I say that is because Hathor is a PvP event, and Stormbreaker is a PvP event. They're really pretty, they're really cool, they're really grandiose. People could say whether it is or isn't, that it's ultimately my opinion. But that's the thing too. Even though it's just my opinion, and my opinion is equivalent to diddly squat, if a lot of people are having the similar or same opinion as I am, and it's not just a few people, then that is a problem. Because if PvEers feel like they're not being like considered at all, or even solo people, like here, we can't play this game solo. And I'm not even talking about like just doing what I'm doing, just flying around like doing my own thing. No, like if I wanted to do Stormbreaker or Hathor, I can't do it solo. And every single time you bring this up to anybody, especially on Spectrum or Reddit or even YouTube cons, they always assume, oh, you just want to do the mission by yourself and reap the rewards all for yourself. No, other people can say that, but when I bring it up and I'm saying I want to do this solo, I'm talking about I want to do this with random other people who are trying to do it by themselves too. I want us to all be able to be randos together, like in any other video game. Like when you join up for this raid, this public raid going on, like let's say Star Trek Online or Skyrim Online or whatever you want. Just some random MMO game, just off the top of your head. Most likely, you'll get into the game and you'll be grouped up with other randos who are also trying to do the same thing you're doing. That is what I'm talking about. I want to do Hathor and cooperate and play with these other randos trying to do the same thing too, and share the rewards. And that is what I'm trying to drill the point in. These people don't understand. They always assume that you want to do it by yourself, and obviously you shouldn't do it by yourself. And someone can make the argument, oh, just join an org or find more friends. Well, you know what? Some people don't like joining orgs, and they could have either irrelevant or valid reasons why. It's ultimately up to them. If they don't want to join an org, that's their choice. And they shouldn't be punished for not wanting to be in an org. Like, this game should not be... Here, let me see. I see some comments. Sounds like you enjoy Fallout 76. Yes, I do, actually. I really enjoy Fallout 76. It's a pretty fun game. It had a terrible start. Mediocre gameplay currently, but it's fun to just waste some time, play around, do some activities. And yeah, and in a way, currently, that is how the item loss system works right now, is when you die, you don't lose your gear. You just lose whatever's in your backpack. So essentially, in 76 terms, you just lose the junk. Which is, in my honest opinion, is a good change to the game. Whether or not people want to agree or disagree with that. And let me see the other one. And yeah, people solo playing or play in small groups too, yeah. Because here's the thing, not everyone wants to join orgs. And not everyone wants, or has the, no one, let's be honest, not a lot of people have friends that they could reliably call on to do these events with. Some people, the majority of people who play Star Citizen, I'm just assuming, just a blanket, blatant assumption, and that is, they only have like a handful of friends here and there. Let's be honest. And the thing about that is, if you need, like, let's say 10 people to do an activity, and you only have 4 friends to call on, you have to call on randos to fill out the blanks, the empty spots. And let's be honest, do you honestly want randos playing with you in an event that's in a thing that's supposed to be with friends? Like, if you're doing friend stuff, you want it to be with friends, not friends and strangers. There has to be situations where you make the choice of friend and not friend, if that makes any sense. Most likely it doesn't, but yeah, my brain's all over the place right now, so there are going to be errors in the logic. And the thing I just can't stand with this community, Star Citizen has a great community, but the people who delve in the Spectrum threads and the Reddit threads are just unproductive at all, unless you're talking on a talking point that they as a majority agree with or think likely, and that is of few topics, especially if you're in the PvE mindset. Like, there are some PvEers, but it feels like the majority of people who basically linger on those threads are PvPers. But that's just my personal experience, because I mind dump a lot of opinions and whatnot on there, so I have a fair share. But my issue is none of them are constructive. Like, there's no discussion of back and forth. They will just tell you your opinion is wrong. They won't tell you why, and when they do tell you why, and you rebuttal, they won't reply and there's no constructive conversation or argument. Because none of them are interested in having an actual constructive argument on the matter. My opinion is this, and your opinion is bad. I disagree with your opinion, and I'm going to be very derogatory with how I respond to you, because I don't like your opinion. And that's a lot of gamers in a nutshell, though, let's be honest, but man. And that's why you don't go to Spectrum if you want to have a actual conversation on anything, especially when it's Star Citizen related. When you want to talk about certain things, you kind of stay away from that. And it sounds like I'm being unfair, but I'm not really being unfair. But personal experiences don't reflect on the whole. And that is the thing I will emphasize on, is just because some people disagree with certain things that I agree with doesn't mean the majority or even them themselves are problematic. Because let's be honest, gaming and our society in general is overwhelmed with emotions. We are honestly all as a whole too emotional. And that's why people have opinions and takes that they have, is because they feel like their opinions of being attacked because they're so emotional and like hold on to their opinions so strongly. It feels like they're being attacked personally, so they have to respond in kind. I'm opening a whole can of worms of just left and right because my brain's all scatterbrained right now. Oh yes, I was gonna do some hauling, so I don't know why I pulled this out. I was like, oh, I'll do some bunker missions. Nah, I want money grind right now. So let me store my ship, and I'll pull out the max. But ultimately, like, despite where this game goes, the direction it takes, whatever, I personally don't care about the tiddly bits here and there. Like, I am annoyed a lot. I'm annoyed greatly by Stormbreaker because I'm disappointed that I'm gonna have to miss out on Stormbreaker content. Because I was looking forward to the giant worms and the gun, like the ATLS Ichthy with the guns and whatnot. I was looking forward to that. I was excited, and then to find out that it's all barred behind PvP. So it's like, oh well. Even though I have my grievances with that, doesn't mean it's bad. And that's the thing that people need to understand. It's not bad. It's not great right now, but it can be worse. And that's not a really good mindset to have either. But you know what? It's better than nothing. Better than having a terrible, cynical mindset too. This game has its shortcomings. But honestly, I'll still stick with this game thick and full. And it's not because I spent a lot of money on ships and stuff, but it's because I like this game. That's the reason why I spent money on this ship. There is a way to practice PvP. It's called Arena Commander. And you go in there and you could get queued up with, there's like team base PvP and then free for all PvP. It's pretty cool. I like it. I don't do it very much though, because it's just not my thing. I'm not a big like shooter fan. Like I will put up with it when I have to. Like let's say in Star Citizen, if someone comes up to me and they start shooting me for whatever reason, I will shoot back and whatnot. And I could sharpen up the skills, but it's just not what I'm into. It's like telling a PvPer who wants only PvP content to sharpen up their skills with PvE content. If that makes sense. Like some people will obviously like, yeah, I do that too. But there are some people who just refuse to participate in PvE stuff. I come across some people who refuse to do bunker missions because they would rather shoot players than NPCs, and I get that. Like, I can understand why they have those preferences, and that's why I have my preferences. It's just, the times that I get annoyed is when someone has their preferences, but yet they don't respect other people's preferences as well. Like, if you're a person who likes PvP only, and you don't want to participate in shooting NPCs, and you want to only shoot players, that's perfectly fine. But don't complain to a PvEer not being skilled enough and not being able to put up a fight because they didn't practice enough PvP. Like, that kind of logic does not make sense. And not everyone has that logic in their mind, thankfully. But there are those people, and it's just annoying. But that's everywhere, though. There's always going to be people like that. And I'm just talking in generalities at this point. And now, my ship is good to go for the loadings of the cargo. I really need to use the bathroom, though. I've been holding a pee for like an hour. Here, I'm gonna get out real quick. I said I need to pee for an hour. I'm holding a pee for an hour, but I'm like, I'm gonna do this first, and this, and this, and this. Oh, that's collections. I don't want to do that. I want to do hauling. Let me do a calculator. Actually, you know what? This will take some time, and that is time I do not want to wait for. So I'll be right back really quick. I'm back. It's time to make money. Alright, so we have 224 units of cargo to work with. Bit by bit. Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta double check. Bajini to Riker. Okay, yeah. Those are the missions I'm looking for right now. What are they called? Dirk Planetary. Ooh. Alright. Man, okay, so this is one thing I wish CIG would do is with their UI is that when you're doing the hauling missions and you accept a contract, don't automatically transition the screen to the accepted tab, please. It makes this process take much longer. Because I lose I lose my place in the list, and I have to start all over again. It's just one of those minor gripes. But yeah, so right now what I'm doing is I am looking through these contracts and accepting them. Because these contracts offer very few amount of boxes and very few amount of money. Like, it's 50,000 monies to deliver 11 boxes. That's pretty decent. But if you're trying to make money, it's not a lot. But the thing is, if you have a ship with a sizable capacity, you could accept a whole bunch of these and pack your ship to the brim with a lot of these contracts and then make some bank in the end. Here, let me just double check through these. Okay. I want the direct planetary contracts. And holy moly. That's only 56 though. Still, it's capacity. It's Bajini to Riker. So what I'm doing is all of these missions they have the same pickup location and they have the same drop-off location. And that means when all the cargo has been transported and delivered, big fat payout. And that's what we want. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but if you have the ship and you have the capacity, you can make some quick money if you need some spending stuff. Alright, this is all like outside of the local area. It's too deep. Okay, I think I've ran out of those. Disappointing to say, but you know what? I think this is a good amount. And I'm not saying that to be lazy. Here, before I accept it. Oh, yeah. ADHD brain at its finest. So many things. Drink. Cruise Lux is the best. Choo. It's the best because it gives you sustenance and hydration. I wish there was a food like that or a drink like that in real life. Sesame, my precious shit. But yeah, back to the original source of the rant is when it comes to the theme park stuff is it feels like CIG is focusing too much on these events and sandbox activities, which honestly I think it's okay to have, but I personally think that they should focus on improving the missions. Like they are trying to improve playability, but I think they should just focus on adding more missions and refining the gameplay that we could do currently. I mean, there's so many ways you could take that. It's like not even funny, but like I just want more missions, to be honest. Like what I personally want out of this game is more activities to do. I want to run around and shoot NPCs and blow ships up and stuff. I want to do mining and whatnot. I want to explore more locations. Like add more caves. Like make them not impossible to find and whatnot, you know? Make them be quite common on planetary surfaces. Like when you see a mountainside, there should be like a chance of a 50% chance of cave or not cave. And add some cool big caves too. Cause that'll be nice. More creatures. Well, I don't know. Creatures are cool, but they could be problematic. Okay, now it's working. I'm gonna have to get it to position first. But aside from all my ramblings and the tangents about my beefs with this game is still ultimately a worthwhile play to play. It's a worthwhile game to try out. Like, right now, the game is free. If you have an RSI account, all you have to do is just download the launcher and play it. And there are some free ships to fly around too. This game is enjoyable. It's just, the stuff I care about are a bit more nuanced and complicated. And it's like, below surface level. Like, that's one of the reasons why I have a lot of beef with War Thunder and stuff, is that there's a lot of just surface level problems that affect the surface and every other, like, here and there, but whatnot. I am concerned with problems that majority of people aren't concerned with, if that makes sense. That's just how my brain be. Boop boop. We have 62 SUs of free space. Oh, box, why you returned to me? That was super shoddy. Alright, I'll start loading these large boxes first. Okay, it's all the way at the edge. Ah, the ATLS. A magnificent vehicle. I always forget the amount of boxes the side of the Max can store. I always forget. One thing I am very curious and also excited for is these new cooperation zones that CIG mentioned. I'm curious how they're gonna go about that. Because one, what is gonna stop people from not shooting each other? Two, how are they going to enforce non-conflict amongst other players, but yet conflict against NPCs? I mean, I guess that's the same question of how they're going to go about players not shooting each other. It's just a more complicated way of saying it. It's like, how are they going to do that? Because players in this game will find a way to kill one another, legally or illegally. Honestly, it's very funny, but still, if they can't figure out how to make PvP impossible in these zones. I don't think it's going to work out, because when they say cooperation zones, people are already assuming that's going to be PvE content. And PvE content involves no PvP. That is the whole premise of PvE content. You cannot have PvE content and have PvP here and there. It is an absolute. That's why some of these online games don't really do it very much, is because they want to appeal to a lot of audiences, and I guess you can't have this or that without PvP in here in some ways, I guess. Like, it just needs to be properly regulated. That's the thing. That's the problem with Star Citizen, is that PvP is just not properly regulated. There's no consequence to murdering players, and there's no consequence. Yeah, there's just no consequence. No deterrent. So it's like, why not? Right? And the server is being very disagreeable. Because I understand why people kill other players. Like, I understand it. Sometimes you're just bored. Sometimes you want that fight, the challenge, the skill, the thrill, that, this, that, whatever. But it's like, some people don't want it, though. Is it so bad for them not to want PvP? And I hate it. I hate when I see this argument get thrown around, regardless of what game it is, of, oh, if you don't like it, play a different game. As if somehow the person who makes that argument has some glorified right to play it and no one else can say otherwise. I don't like it. But that's just how it is. That's just internet armchair dev. That's just internet opinionating, grandstanding, this and that, whatnot, in a nutshell. And it's okay. It's okay to do it. Just don't be an asshole about it. Alright, so we got one side loaded. And now we do the other side. I'm just getting all these little boxes out the way, because we have an abundance of these baby boxes. Alright, so here's an idea. Like, I'm not against PvP content. Like, it's not me, it's not for me, but it's like, I'm not against it. I think it should exist in Star Citizen. Because why not? PvP does add to the game. Like, there's no way around that. Like, yeah. And it can be fun. Sometimes I don't mind doing it here and there. Like, I'll hop in Arena Commander and try it out. And, like, once I get my butt kicked, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And then I'll play something else. Because what games I go to get my PvP fix is War Thunder and sometimes TF2. I haven't played TF2 in years, though, to be honest. But still, like, I like to go to War Thunder because it's a really fun game to play. Especially when it comes to, like, fighting other people. Maybe I should stream War Thunder one day. I don't know. But the thing is, it's just, you have to go about the gameplay properly. You have to respect other players. And right now, with Star Citizen and the PvP versus PvE arguments, they just don't. There's no respect amongst other fellow players. It's like, my word, like, what I want is absolute, and you are gonna ruin it for me. So I'm gonna demean your talking points because I don't want the thing I like being get squandered or ruined, and I understand that. But we all play this game for the same reasons. So we want to, not for the same reason. We all want the same thing for Star Citizen, and we want it to be a good game. Give it to me, please. At this point, I'm just rambling, honestly. Like, I'm trying to put thought and meaning to what I'm saying, but ultimately, it's just my opinion. So, don't like it? That's fine. Don't need to take it. Give me box. I need these little boxes out here on the main pad. There we go. Yeah, wiggling the bean like that does nothing. I'm just doing it because it looks funny. My little icon disappeared. There it is. I fear I've ruined too many people's days. It feels bad. I can understand that. But I guess it depends. Like, if you're playing TF2 and you're waffle stomping someone, like, let's be honest, if you're playing a PvP game, you're gonna get raffle stomped here and there. Like, when I play War Thunder, especially when I hop in the custom games and I just square off with random people, occasionally I will get raffle stomped, and, like, kind of the thing you should expect. And sometimes I do it to other people. It's the way of the video game. As long as you're respectable about it, and you're not being a little asshole about it or whatnot, I think it's fine. Like, some people can get really into the PvP. Some people like to be toxic about it, but ultimately, it's just a video game. Alright, so the little boxes are almost... Ooh, there's some more. You know, this is one of the downsides of doing these kinds of missions, is that you will have a lot of tiny boxes to finagle with. That's why having an ATLS helps a lot. The ATLS is this little mech suit that I'm using. It has clown shoes. You know, that's a thing that CIG should consider doing for an April Fool's thing. Give the ATLS clown shoes and a clown paint. They could do it. I don't think it would take too much dev work or dev time to do, and it would be so goofy. And when the ATLSs walk around, they make a honking sound, like honk, 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 honk. But hey, that's just a goofy idea. I still want there to be zombies in Star Citizen, but I'm realistic in expectations, and I don't think that is even possible. But that would be such a cool thing for them to do in the future, the far on future. Is to add zombies, like space zombies. There you go. I don't know if Chris Roberts would like that idea, because Star Citizen is kind of his baby and whatnot, but man, I could just imagine, because the atmosphere would be so fitting, especially with some of these stations. Like, the artists who are employed under CIG are phenomenal with what they do. Even the devs are also really good. Like, this game may be a testimony to poor performance and terrible optimization, but ultimately, for what it is, it's pretty darn good. For what it is. Heavy emphasis on that. Because, honestly, I think if this was any other studio, I think it would have been way worse. Boop, 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 boop. But hey, that's just me. Space Pirates? There are Space Pirate players, but it's not like you would see in typical Space Pirate fashion, or what you would see in EVE Online. Essentially, what would happen is player will come up, blast you, and disable your ship. Then they will board your ship, blast you personally, and then they will make off with your cargo. That's just how it goes. And I personally don't think that's piracy. I think that's just hijacking, but I guess hijacking is a form of piracy. I don't know. I'm familiar with murder is always the last resort when it comes to piracy, but hey, that's just me. Alright, so the lift is almost empty. We've got 3 boxes left. 4 boxes left. Good thing I caught that. One day, we'll have good piracy. One day. Some people like to roleplay it out. But I think it should be proper. I think it should be supported. You know, like if you leave, if you don't kill the player, but you make off with some of their cargo or profit, you should be rewarded in that kind of matter. Like there should be a consequence to murdering them, not just well, the consequence would be crime stat and this and that, and yeah, that should be punishing. I'm trying to think of ways in how to like de-incentivize murder. It's kind of, I don't know. I find it difficult to think of alternatives for player murder when it comes to piracy. Because how are you going to reward that? If you don't kill them, how would you reward it? I mean, the only way you would like use as a deterrent and punishment is they get a crime stat. Now they will be like now they can't land at station like official stations and this and that, and they'll be shot at by security and hunted down by players. But even that's not really much of a deterrent in this game. So how would you encourage people not killing each other? It's a complicated thing. No. So NPCs in this game have been notoriously terrible. Like they're just there to act as like sources of fire. Like they're just there. They don't really offer much challenge, especially to a lot of these people who player kill. And a lot of it has to do with the server stability. Like the servers, NPCs are hindered by the stability of the server. If the servers are having a poor, like let's say today is a bad day for server performance and like the servers are just having a hard time keeping it together, that means the NPCs will be just dog water. They'll be terrible, they won't detect people, they'll hardly shoot, this and that. But that said, when the NPCs and the servers do work, the NPCs can be really scary. So it's just a flip of a coin of did you get a good server or a bad server? But CIG are working on making the NPCs better or whatnot. Apparently the next update that we're getting, they're bringing back station security. Be inside because then people can bump them out. Yeah. There it is. Yeah, or people will find ways to cheese them. Honestly, time is the remedy for Star Citizen. It is the commodity that it is over-consuming. And unfortunately, that is the only thing. Time and money is the only thing that Star Citizen that can fix Star Citizen. CIG needs to take like they need to learn some lessons from other games, honestly, in my opinion. And it's another annoying thing with this community is like if you tell them, oh, they should learn from this game or that game, they'll just assume without giving any sort of thought. Oh, they'll just assume that like, oh, you want this game to be more like that game. It's like, no, I'm saying they should make keynotes and take some lessons from that, so that way they know what to do and what not to do. That's the whole point of it. But players be players, people be people, you know. Misinterpretation and misunderstanding is overly abundant. But I heard that we're getting station security back, and that's going to be very interesting. And the tractor beams are being very wonky today. I can't imagine what it's going to be like when I have to unload this thing. But I'm curious to see how much money I will make. You know what? One second. No, not there. There we go. There we are. Oh. Yeah, the servers are having a bad day today. But yeah, we're getting station security back, so that's going to be interesting. And they are slowly improving the NPC AI and the flight AI and this and that. So one day we're going to get some challenging NPCs. And crime stats should be punishing. Prison time should be punishing. People complain about this and that, but ultimately there's a reason why. Don't player kill. Don't commit crimes. It's just that simple. Sometimes you make mistakes, you get a crime stat, this and that. And, you know, you kind of learn from that mistake and don't do it again. But sometimes it's not that easy. There's so many little boxes. And that's one reason why I like this game a lot. Is it's not the gameplay itself, but the curiosity. Oh, the gameplay. But also the curiosity is one of the things that keeps me interested in this project. Is I want to know, I want to see what it becomes later. People can come and go if they want. I will stick it through and through. If this game becomes a PvP space Tarkov game, let it be so. I mean, I personally would not want that, but if it is what it is, then it's what it is at that point. But I want to see what this game becomes. People were, like, when Tier 0 was being talked about and was being implemented, people were, like, saying, if they add Tier 0, I'm leaving this game forever. I understand why someone would leave a game, especially if the game has been making them frustrated and not respecting their time and whatnot. I can understand that. But if it's just one thing, or if it's something like, if you really like this, like the way I see it, when you leave a game, it has to be something significant. And I guess that's the difference between me and a lot of other people, is that I don't see losing item looting that significant in the when it comes to the grand scheme of the game, because I personally don't care what other people have on their backs. When it comes to loot, I really don't care. The loot I care about is the loot I find at locations. Like, obviously, they're going to have stuff from these locations, but I don't care about that. I just don't care about what people have. That's just me. If they found a railgun, hey, good for you. I want a railgun, but like, I'm not gonna rip it off your back and whatnot. Some people are fine with that, but eh. Alright, this box, I am determined to get it in that slot. So I'm going to get my little trusty tractor beam tool out. There we go. Sometimes the tractor beam on the ATLS could be finicky. That would be Elite Dangerous Space Tarkov. Yeah. Like, I would like this game to be a well-balanced... what's it called? Properly balanced between PvP, PvE, lawless, and lawful. Because frankly, that, in my opinion, is how it should be. People should have things that they want, and people should have things that they don't want. Like, there should be a little bit of everything. And honestly, I frankly believe that it would be a detrimental decision to take the Tarkov route with Star Citizen. Tarkov someone could say, like, Tarkov is a successful game with this and that, and that would be hard to argue against, because Tarkov is relatively a successful game. And it is, frankly, popular amongst PvP communities, and that's okay, that's fine. But that's not what Star Citizen is supposed to be, though. And if CIG wants to cater to a large majority of people, and they want a lot of people to play this game like a proper MMO, the game being like Tarkov would be a very bad choice, in my opinion. Not gonna lie. bad decision, because Tarkov will basically put off people who just want a nice chill time. Heck, some people who play Tarkov play the PvP stuff. Like, it's what it is. But again, just my opinion. I personally don't want it to be Tarkov. While I still play it, yeah, I'll still play the game. There will always be something that I will have interest in this game. Because it's worth sticking, it's worth sticking through and through, you know? Unless it turns out to be a big fast scam, then I'll go through the proper legal channels, get the money back, you know. And that's just like, you know, cope. But I am excited to see what this year yields. The fruits of labor from CIG will yield from this year. Because we got the Idris. I wasn't expecting to get the. I wasn't expecting to see the Idris come in. But we got it, and it's really cool. Though the situation around the Idris is also kind of annoying, to be honest. Hull limited is very annoying. I don't like artificial scarcity. But I understand the decision. They don't want Idrises flying all over the place in vast numbers, and this and that, yada yada. It's supposed to be a military ship, whatnot. I think it shouldn't be too... The requirements to get a Idris P should not be too stripulant. Stripulant? What's the word? I can't remember. But it shouldn't be too demanding. Honestly. Like, it should have a significant amount of requirements, but ultimately, you should be able to buy one. What net you the most money activity-wise? Actually, what I'm doing right now will net me a pretty decent penny. Because I've accepted a total of 7 contracts of hauling contracts, where I am transporting this cargo down to Wrecker Memorial, with pretty much each individual contract costing around 50k a piece. So 50k times 7 is around 375k, give or take. So that's pretty decent. Like, the loading and unloading does take some time, but it's easy money. If you have a ship with a decent sized cargo bay, you can make some good bank. And that's if you optimally, if you get the contracts in an optimal fashion, as in you only accept small little boxes and maximize the use and capabilities of your cargo bay, I guess. I know that mining can net you some pretty good dosh, so to say, if you do like the high value stuff. I know it's extremely risky, but I know for a fact that Quantanium mining can net you some good money if you know how to do it and know where to go and refine it, and also don't explode before you can drop it off. Oh no, they added, I forgot that the hangars are a little bit more physicalized and whatnot. When I finish this run, I am estimating around 350,000k. I mean 350k. Around, give or take. And it's taken me a wee bit to load these little boxes, but that is a deliberate choice, because picking these little boxes gives me maximum contract capacity for cargo capacity. Another hour, 30 minutes? Well, I'd say the loading takes longer than the unloading, if you get my meaning. As in just haphazardly throw boxes into the lift, and as long as they don't clip through the lift. You could go through it in a pretty quick fashion. This goes by quicker when you have other people, but you make less money because you got to pay your lads. Got to pay the boys. And even though it takes a wee bit amount of time to load and unload, honestly, it makes a, well, no. I would say this is better than rock mining. I personally like doing rock mining. I can make around 200 something K each run, but I say it would take longer than this, takes more hassle, and has a lot more room for error in terms of the game just not working and just bugging out as typical Star Citizen fashion. Some people can make really big bang doing the PvE, like the PvE bounty missions. I can't remember how much the top of the line mission will like net you if you could do it by yourself, but I know that it's a big number. Like something like 200k? I don't know. One of my lads has access to the mission, but they're not on right now, and I can't remember how much they said it was. But they did say it was difficult. Alright, so let me check around, make sure no boxes were left behind. Okay. I'm running back to the storage terminal to... let's go. What's with stealing the drugs? They give you more. I'm not really fond of the drugs, honestly. They net you more, but I'm not a very high-risk kind of player. I get stressed out. I don't like getting stressed out. If I want to get stressed out and feel that rush of playing something risky, I'll go to War Thunder. But drugs will net you a lot of money, especially if you know where to get the good stuff and sell it. It's just not my thing. Goes the bay. Look at that. Glorious. I love being flanked by massive boxes left and right. Makes you feel like you're running through a warehouse. Why that's appealing, I don't know. Yeah, bounties do run with drugs. You know, the funny thing, if you're a Star Citizen player too, and you've been playing for a while, I think you might also remember this. Do you remember when the salvage contracts would net you drugs, and people would make extra money on the side of doing the contracts? Like, that was one of the reasons why people did those, the big ship contract missions, was because it was like gambling, like loot boxes. Like, you're going to salvage this Starfarer, but you open the back and it's bam, like buying the storage unit full of like valuable goodies. It's like loaded with drugs and stuff. You can make, like, aside from the money you can make from salvaging the Starfarer, you also make way more with the drugs. Okay, yeah, I remember that change. CIG did not like that people were making a lot of bank from those salvage contracts because of the drugs. I think they accidentally made the chances of drugs appearing in the cargo holds too high, and they shot that into the ground, but it's what it is. To Riker Memorial. I could have rotated in the other direction, and it would have been much quicker. Yeah, and that's also why they handicapped the Reclaimer in terms of the new salvage changes. Well, the new ship balance changes. They're making the Vulture and the Prosperity? I can't remember the name. Misfortune, there it is. They made the Misfortune and Vulture more efficient when it comes to salvage, but they reduced the Reclaimer's salvage efficiency down by 32%. Because everyone and their mom uses the Reclaimer to... Yeah. I'm glad to see that the Caterpillar is still good for hauling. I don't have one. I want one though. Though I do have a C2. I have ships that do the cargo runs better. But the Starlancer Max feels like the nice in between of big, but not big. Like efficient, but not, like not too efficient. As in too much space, or I don't know. I like flying this thing. Is basically the point I'm making. We're heading down to Riker Memorial to make a hopefully swifty drop off. I remember I was ferrying a friend of mine down here. We're doing some runs, just me and him, and Starlancer Max was loaded to the brim, full capacity with boxes. And we desynced, we crashed, and we died. All the cargo was scattered across the landing bay, like Riker Memorial, and we're like, you know what? We'll try again later. I'm not in the mood to going back and trying to get all the boxes back onto the ship. I don't want that. Oh, the Starlancer? I would like to think that's pretty decent. Yesterday, I was playing with the lads yesterday, and we were doing some 890 jump boarding action contracts. Trying to, save the NPCs, kill the pirates, this and that. One of them threw a grenade inside the 890 jump, which was a mistake because it gave them what's it called? It gave them a tier 3 crime stat because the ship, it counted them as aggravated assault against the 890. So they got a crime stat for it. And we're in the Starlancer TAC. Yeah, we were in the Starlancer TAC discussing amongst ourselves how we're going to handle and go about his crime stat. Because he doesn't want the crime stat. He wants to go back to Bajini, but he can't do it. So I was basically telling him, well, you can drop off your loot into the cargo box that we have down in the cargo bay. And that way, one of us will accept the bounty mission and put a bullet in your head. So that way you'll get sent to prison, get that crime stat dealt with, lickety-split, and we could get back to doing this stuff. And in the middle of discussing all of this, we suddenly get attacked out of nowhere by this F7 Mark II with Revenant Gatlings and NDBs blasting our rears. And the moment we started getting shot at, I immediately ran to the bridge while they're still in the crew quarters, bumbling around trying to discuss what to do and also what that noise is. And I'm like, yeah, we're being shot at. I am taking us out of here right now. And it was because he has a tier 3. I went to jail because I crashed in the area on the planet and got trespassed. Yeah, that's what happened to the guy also that got the crime. Says he died doing a bunker mission. He had a box full of loot. He died. He spawned back at the station. He wanted to get the loot back, so he went to go get the box. He got shot by the guards and he got thrown in jail because he was trespassing. Poor guy. He lost his loot. I feel that. But yeah, it was funny. The reason why this guy came out of nowhere and attacked us was because he was after his bounty. Because he had a tier 3 crime stat. Yeah, and it's like, I know why he's shooting us. He's after you. He wants to kill you because you have a crime stat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get us out of here. Get us away from him. And I want you and this other, I want this other guy to grab your contract after you drop off your stuff. He'll put a bullet in your head, and that will deal with the bounty hunter. And it worked. The bounty hunter didn't follow us because, well, one, he couldn't follow me because I was jumping all over the place sporadically. So it's good luck catching someone doing that in this game. But and also, oh no, give it back, give it back, give it back. All right, crisis averted. Nope, it's just wanting to be eaten. All right, I'm gonna have to do it on the outside. illegal hauling contracts. No, not really. I'm not really interested in the illicit stuff. I like to do lawful things. Ooh. There we go. Because it's nice, calm, and it gets the gameplay across. Like, there are more profitable activities, but I like doing this stuff. I'm a golden child, yeah. I followed the law. Though I do know people who are, what's it called? Avid criminals. And they are hilarious. It's fun playing with them. Wait, Wicklow has an Idris available, or is going to get an Idris? This is new news to me. Oh, the Polaris. Nah. I already have a Polaris. Though the Polaris skin from Wicklow is pretty cool. And some of the gear, the goodies on it are pretty nice too. I like mine. If anything, if I'm going to get anything from Wicklow, it would have to be the what's it called? The Ichthy. The ATLS Ichthy. I want it, man. Like, I am willing to put up with Stormbreaker to get that thing. Oh, the Polaris? I've had the Polaris for a long while. And what's it called? Concept. And then they finally added it around last year. Thankfully. But when it comes to the Ichthy, no, I don't have one. I want one. I want the Ichthy. I want an ATLS with guns, so that I feel like a Marauder pilot from Starship Troopers. And I'm not talking about the movies. Starship Troopers, Raise X Roughnecks. Ask not what the world can do with you. Ask not for what your country can do for you. How much is the ATLS from Wicklow? It's pricey. You have to kill the giant. You have to kill the big worm. The big worm. Big daddy worm you have to kill. Because here, I'll check it out for you to show you really quick. We got collection, and then you look for what's it called? Zappy gun? Nope. Train word parts? Nope. Make gun? Nope. Where is it? It's here somewhere. Hey, look, one big ship, but not too big. Oh, that's cool. Make ATLS shoot. You'll need an ATLS, some cannons, and you need 10 irradiated Valakar pearls, which you get from the big worm. And you need 5 irradiated Valakar fangs, which is from also the big worm. And that means you need to do Stormbreaker. Yeah, there's worms. They're the Valakars. They're supposed to spawn everywhere else, but currently there are, in Stanton at least, there are 4? I'm just gonna assume 3. 3 moons that have worms. Magda, Daymar, and Aberdeen. And I know that Pyra has some moons that have worms, but Stormbreaker is essentially this new sandbox event, which is essentially just a raid with many layers. Is a raid where you go in, summon this big worm, and kill it, so you could get these fancy loots. The sum of the event is you have to go to these little outposts in Pyro to get some key cards. They have to take to the actual Stormbreaker location, which is located in a radiation storm. That's like a perpetual radiation storm. and you need like a radiation suit and stuff to protect yourself from being irradiated and whatnot. It's pretty cool, actually, and when you summon the worm, it's a big, giant boss fight. You have to fight the worm, and it'll shoot rocks at you and stuff. But because I am a ninny, because I don't like PvP stuff, I'm not really all that interested. To get the military stuff, like F7, I'm going to assume F7A. The F7A was, oh man, it's been a while since I last, I don't really remember. It was an old event. You had to kill some things, do some stuff here and there. My memory's very fuzzy on that matter. F7C, I'm guessing, I'm gonna guess it would have fancy kit. You could probably go to the contested zones and Pyro, because they do have some ships in the at the later tiers of the contested zones. Don't know why I'm struggling to say that. And when you get far enough in the contested zones, you will oh yeah, the green one, that's the F7A. Yeah, I don't think it's available anymore. It's been unavailable for a good while. And to get the F7A, you needed the F7C Mark II. Two, you needed to do some activities that aren't available anymore. I'm really disappointed that the F7A event thing is like done and one and done and whatnot. I don't know if they're going to bring it back. I hope they do. They really should bring that kind of thing, like cycle it around, in and out, you know? Not much really. I've just been running around. I've been moving boxes back and forth right now. Moving the little boxes from point A to point B. Currently, I'm gone from point A, and now I'm at point B. Box by box, bit by bit. I'm eager to see what the payout will be. I mean, I could just throw these boxes haphazardly in the bay, but for some reason, I am just going this bit by bit, making sure it's all neat and pretty. At least an F7 with the nose turret. Yeah, actually, if you can't get your hand, like, this is just my opinion really, but if you can't get your hands on a F7A Mark II, you could go for an alternative and get the F7C, or, essentially it's the F7 Super Hornet Mark II. And essentially, it's less maneuverable than the A by just a tiny bit, and you get a co-pilot seat, but it is pretty decent and is actually a contemporary to the A. It's just the stock components are just a bit different. It's just as good. Comet. The Saber Comet? The Aegis Saber with the fancy camo pattern on it? I can't remember what the Comet is specifically. But, oh, I heard that well, I'm not familiar with the Saber Comet particularly, but I know that the Saber series are pretty good fighters. Ultimately, when it comes to PvP, I heard the current craze right now when it comes to PvP, like the go-to PvP ship, is either a Gladius or an Arrow. Just because of how quick and zippy and well-armed they are. Essentially, it's the light fighter meta. Ah, okay. I'm guessing it has better components. Give it. Should have multiple of these boxes. I wish. There was a cheesy tactic you could do back when they first added these delivery missions and physicalized cargo missions and stuff, and that is, you could buy a big box. So this box here is a 1 SU container. And here, I'll show you here in a second because I got to move on to the side of the ship now. 1 second, just let me just pop that there. This example requires demonstration or visual example. So the little boxes that we're moving are 1 SU containers. These big boxes are 8 SU containers. Now, when they first had these, like, the what's it called? You know, the cargo elevators and this and that. One of the things that people were doing was they were taking big boxes like the 8 SU containers and consolidating them, and consolidating all of these little boxes with into one of these big containers. So essentially, you take you take 8 of these 1 SU boxes, and then a single 8 SU container, and you move all these little boxes into that said container. And then you go to these drop-off locations, and then empty out those containers with these boxes. Essentially, you put all these little boxes into a big box, deliver the big box, and then take it out of the big box and whatnot. Only problem with that, though, was it was very buggy. Can't do it no more, I don't think. And it's not worth doing either because it was very risky, and you can permanently lose the stuff you put into the container because of how buggy this is when it comes to that kind of stuff. It was very funny. Here we go. I'm just glad that we have hangars that persist. Relatively. I'm just glad that we have hangars that don't kick us out if we stay in there too long. Okay, there it is. That was so annoying back in the day. Like, you're trying to do stuff on your ship in the hangar, and then you get the, hey, you're loitering on the pad for too long. We're gonna store your ship without your consent because you're taking up space. Give it. Come on. Relinquish the box. It would be nice. I am determined to see how this plays out. Here we go. Boop, boop. It would be nice if they made it a feature, yeah. But there's like a million things that they're worrying about right now that unfortunately take priority over these kinds of stuff. Hop. I am hungry, but I don't know what I want to eat. Oop. Though once I get to the ASU containers, there'll be a breeze unloading. Look at all these little boxes. It's like Tetris. About this game. He said they take a million tangents when they should be finishing one path. Yeah, I agree. Like, they take one step forward just to take 5 steps back because they're adding more stuff to the list of things to do. Like ships, adding new ships instead of working on the backlog. That's one of the things that also annoys me, is that you should focus on the backlog, CIG. You have a lot of ships on that list, and you have a lot of ships on the Gold Pass backlog too. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is cool, it's just, CIG, you kind of, Like, you're kind of running out of excuses putting the stuff off, if you ask me. Yeah. We do indeed. I think they're taking these little offshoots and side tangents and stuff to make the game more appealing and playable for both the people who play now and people who will potentially play the game. Because I can understand, like them postponing features in favor of playability and whatnot. I think it's a reasonable sacrifice. We're not going to see a lot of groundbreaking updates and stuff for a while, but if it means we could play the game more better than it is now, then in a way I'm kind of for it, honestly. Because there's so much. Or target audience, yeah, that could also be it too. Intended audience, yeah. Because it could be them trying to appeal to people that they want to play and buy and whatnot. Oh. Okay, it's in the little audio thing I'm listening to. Because the last thing CIG needs to do is add more stuff to the list and whatnot. Like, feature creep. That's basically just the sum of the problem with Star Wars is just too much feature creep. They keep adding too much stuff. And there's too much stuff that needs too much of the little bits. Like, let's say one of the things that we need in terms of balance for ships and flight performance is survivability and whatnot. Like they just brought out that you can build station, yet they haven't finished the land-based building. Yeah. I think that was a targeted thing to like get people like excited for like, hey, you could build space stations in the future. It's like, CIG, you're not doing yourself any favors. But like, you know what? Let's talk about armor and physicalized damage. CIG wants to do. Oh, hello. How's their channel? Ah, another one of those bot thingies. I'm not gonna give the dignity of reading that out. No, but yeah, like, some of the features that we're waiting for have just too many prerequisites in order to be added. Like armor and physicalized damage. Like, one of the main things that this game, like a lot of these ships, some of these ships need, like, let's say Aegis ships. Aegis ships are like known to be armored and tanky and stuff like that, like with the hammerhead. But there's no armor system. And we can't have armor without physicalized damage. We can't have physicalized damage without the Maelstrom system. And we can't have Maelstrom without other things to make it compatible with server meshing. And we can't have that until they figure out dynamic server meshing. It's like the give amounts of cookie situation where you want this feature, but in order to make it work, you need 10 other features. Like, let's look at the Banu Merchantman. We've been waiting, well, me too, I've been personally waiting for that shit for years. We still don't have it. They don't want to work on it and add it into the game because it don't got no player trading. We can't have player trading without this, that, and this, that. Yeah, the hole just keeps getting deeper. And that's for things that exist already. Like, it just gets more complicated the further down the road you get. The further down the road you go. Like, the Orion. We can't have the Orion without proper this and proper that. needs it needs ship onboard ship refining. It needs drones. We don't have drones yet. It needs all this and all of that. And that means that ship will not be seen in years. Even though that ship has been around forever in terms of it being in concept. But hey, we got real waves. Yeah, we got storms. We got worms. That's also one reason why I'm annoyed and bitter towards Stormbreaker, is that we've been waiting for 9 years for the giant worms. And lo and behold, the only place to see the giant worm is in Stormbreaker. Like, you couldn't have added the giant and, like, the adult and apex worms anywhere else, too? It's like, it's so disappointing, but that's just my personal beefs. Like, it's ultimately not that big of a deal, and I know for a fact that it'll be added later. But man, I still can't help but get, like, annoyed at that reality. Like, 9 years, and then people who want to see the worms have to go to a PvP event to see the worms. Oh, CIG, you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, they should have done it that way. But it's unfortunately the reality of the worms currently. We will see worms one day, and honestly, when it comes to the Apex worms, I know I'm setting myself up for disappointment when I say this, but I do not want to see Apex worms being only seen through specific events, like with Stormbreaker. I don't want us to go to a specific location to find an Apex worm, where you have to draw it out, or it's known to spawn in this one location. I don't want that. What I want to see with the worms is we go fly around a moon that is known to have worms, and eventually you'll see a giant worm. Also, that's another thing that we still don't have, is player-created waypoints. Or points of interest. That would be so useful, but the game's not ready, I guess. Alright, let's deliver all of this stuff and see how much money we reap. We are sitting at 300 something monies. Transfer complete. Missions complete. We're now at 700 something monies, so we made 300 something thousand monies. That was good monies. But that is my attention span spent for hauling missions. Retract the bay. But you know what? I got a nice boost of currency. Yeah. Like, with the star map, it is nice that we got an improved version of what we had before. It is objectively better than the default vanilla map, or the default old map. But it would be nice for us to have more quality of life improvements. Hey, y'all. Time. It's like the... Yeah, it is laggy. Both were, yeah. Open the bay. Flying in third person is a bit challenging. Does the asset tab. I guess it does. Or does it? You know what? It doesn't. Oh, that's funny that you pointed that out, man. That's the funny thing. All we want is stuff to work. Yeah. That's why I just remember where I put stuff, and I just keep everything in one place. CIG. I saw that you could buy bomb racks in game, though. You could buy a bomb rack at Bikini Point. Where you could buy bombs, I don't know. Not yet, at least. But, that's pretty cool, though. It was good to see so much backlash with the bombs and blades. It's good to see that it actually worked. Section on the website that did the same thing. Can't find it. And they got rid of it. Yeah, I could understand why they got rid of it if it wasn't working at all in the first place. We just want the stuff to work. I don't really think that's a big ask, really. Not too much of an ask to ask for CIG to just make your systems work, right? Like, make the maps work, make the ships work, make the little Mobiglass bits work, you know, CIG. But all these complaints, all these problems will be eventually fixed. Let's be honest. It just takes it just takes time, a long time. That's one reason why I'm hoping that they nail it with Squadron 42. Because personally, I don't see them with their current business model with selling ships and gear being a sustainable means of making money beyond this year, this and next year potentially. Because from what I'm seeing from other people's reports and seeing people showing the financials and just observing CIG's actions and decisions, what I'm putting together is people are at this point tired of buying ships. They either got all the ships they wanted now, or at this point, or they just don't want to spend hundreds of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars to get more ships and stuff. Like, there is a limit. It's a finite, more devs than they think they need with all the tangents. Yeah. More hands on deck doesn't mean it's going to get done quicker. Because sometimes when you put too much people in a project, it slows it down because too many conflicting ideas, opinions, and work ethics. But that's why I say, back to the topic, I hope that I hope they nail it with Squadron 42. I personally think that they cannot afford to let it flop. They need it to succeed. They need the marketing to nail it. They just need it to succeed, honestly, because that's going to be their source of income, and also like a statement in a way, like a statement of saying, like, hey, this wasn't a sham. We fulfilled our promise and we delivered the game that we said we're going to deliver. And that ultimately is the game that they were promising in the first place. Yeah. I remember that. They said it was feature complete, but yet they never give a release date. And then last year they gave us a release date, 2026. No specific date in 2026, mind you, but they did give a year date. And I'm liking what I saw. I like what I saw in both the stuff, but they really need to just hit it out of the ballpark. Because if Squadron 42 flops, then I think personally CIG are doomed. They're doomed. Project will be doomed. And I'm not being, what's it called? Doom and gloom. It's just being objective. Because it's not going to flop overnight. It's going to keep going the way it's going now. But with the problem of people are going to be leaving the project more because they've either lost faith or they lost trust. I think trust is the big one that's going to impact CIG, because they could have all the well intentions in the world. They can make all the promises they want and have all the full intentions and they can have all the good intentions of fulfilling those promises, but if they ultimately fail in delivering, even though they tried their hardest, it's still gonna damage the reputation to the point where people are going to lose trust with them. They're not going to buy the games. They're going to leave the project, and they're going to slowly dwindle into obscurity and then fail, which is a bit bleak. It should be pretty solid and should be fully capable. Yeah, that would be, yeah. It is a pretty good game. Like, it looks good. It looks promising. And I think it's not too much concern when it comes to that, because they spent how long? That's why I say they can't afford to flop, because I want to say I have full confidence in it, but I don't want to be too optimistic, because I like to be realistic. I like to be objective. And with Squadron 42, I think they got a good chance, honestly. Like, they're really pushing hard. Like, they're burning through profits right now. Like, they're burning the candle at both ends of the stick. Porting things over from there to here. Yes, actually, they're still transferring features from Squadron to Star Citizen. It's just gonna be taking a bit. I think Maelstrom's gonna be one of the biggest hurdles that this game is gonna get. It's gonna be super interesting to see how they go about that. Hello, TAC. I'm gonna grab my double SU container for loot. I'm gonna run some bunker missions really quick. I want some loot. We were running bunker missions yesterday, and we found in the same bunker a railgun and a Scourge missile launcher. I mean, an Animus missile launcher in the same bunker. I, like the loot goblin I am, took the Animus launcher greedily, but we let the other lad get the railgun because there was 3 of us. And it was very cool. And I'm hoping to see another railgun. I really want to collect those things. But yeah, I really think they have a chance with Squadron 42. What I think that when I say they can't afford to let it flop is the performance. That is my biggest concern with Squadron. Is it needs to be optimized and playable on release. They can't afford to let it, flop and fail. Like, it could be playable, but if it has, like, let's say we all goblins and corpses and armor, yeah. But like, if I don't think it's going to be great for CIG if they have a Doom. What's that new one? The new Doom game? Not Eternal. It's the medieval one with this chainsaw shield. I can't remember. It's okay. Retribution? No. Doom the Dark Ages. That's the game. The reason why I bring that up is because it had a rocky launch. Because the devs, it was not as optimized as it could have been, and it was very buggy and unstable when it released. People were pissed. I mean, the game's not fine now, from what I hear, and that's good, Because the gameplay itself wasn't a problem. It was just the performance of it was just the state of the launch that was the problem. And I think CIG, if CIG can avoid that kind of launch, a stereotypical broken on launch and then fixed over time situation, I think it'll be golden, honestly. Because the game has a lot of promise. If they can avoid the release being broken and buggy and horrendous, like modern games in a nutshell, they have something really promising on their hands. Ooh. And they'll finally have a stable stream of income. Maybe marketing will finally release their grip on the devs and let them focus on actual gameplay instead of focusing on making ships for money. Because that's also one reason why they focus on events too. Because money. Events draw in people. And when people get drawn in, they'll advertise a new ship, which means money. And let's be honest, we all don't want that anymore. We all don't like marketing. No, they definitely need more money. Like the thing, like the funny thing with brain failing. I remember now. The funny thing with their development thing is that they're spending a whole butt ton of money on development. It's going to development. Devs, renting spaces, this and that, renting technology, software, I don't know. All I know is they are spending the money on what they're supposed to be spending it on, but they're spending a lot of the money to where it's an unsustainable amount of spending going on. And my suspicion is they're going through a big push. They're really pushing. They're like, I'm pretty much being literal when I say they're burning the candle at both ends. Because they want to get, they know it's crunch time. They know they have to push Squadron 42 out. They know that they can't afford to take much longer on the release. So that means they need to spend more money on getting these devs to move their heinies on the thing. Are they probably going through crunch? I'm just gonna suspect that these devs are seeing crunch time. Yeah. Well, it pretty much has been Chris Roberts' pipe dream from the get-go. A lot of the top people shared the idea, but it's been mostly Chris Roberts from he's like the roots of the situation, like the roots of why it is, and it can be both good and bad. I like to look at it that way. All right, let's see. Contract ambush, nope. Clear out PAF, nope. Scenario 1, no. Looking for contractor evaluation. I can't remember if the call to arms stuff works. But oh, it's gone. Fine, I didn't want to do call to arms anyway. I certainly don't want to make 500 monies per kill. Wipe out base. Yeah. Can you solo the Reclaimer? You can solo the Reclaimer. I'm just see the comment in the global chat. Yes, but it's annoying. Cargo grid on Reclaimer is rough, but still love that shit. I love the Reclaimer. Oh, that's nice. 100k. But I'm a good boy. I do lawful stuff. Alright, I'm used to doing Hurston contracts, so I am not too familiar with what the security forces look like here. I'm familiar with what they look like, it's just it's been a while. Yeah. One outpost no one's gonna miss. Oh, are you talking about Dark Widow? Dark Hollow? Something like that. It's a Crash Reclaimer. I heard it had some problems, but I think it was pretty cool. Jumping to location. So what I like to do when I do these bunker missions is I run into the bunker first, kill everyone in the bunker, and then when I'm done looting, I come up, kill everyone on the surface that's been left behind, and then I leave. It's a nice little work ethic. Maximizes loot time. New objective. Defend the site. Yeah, I'm very surprised to see how tough and tanky the Starlancer attack was. The Starlancer attack, like, we were being shot at for like a minute, almost 2 minutes. And they only were able to get the hull red. And they didn't even, Oh yeah, I've learned to bring at least one SCU container with you when you do these bunker missions, because sometimes you find really good loot that you don't want to leave. Yep. Approaching outpost. Yeah, I got a 2 SU container in the back. That looks like a Hornet? No, it's too big. No, it's a Gladius. Listen to that nightly jazz. Look, there's the little guys. There they are. Man, I wish the thrust limiter wasn't so finicky sometimes. I want those nice smooth descents. You know, I miss that one short grace period where the NPCs were really good and aware. Oh, they look like security guys. Okay. There we go. Hey, it's someone's medevac. Pisces. Oh yeah, the enemies are definitely better than what they used to be back then. Oh, look at all these guns. Custodians. I heard that they have a charge feature now. That's pretty cool. We're not getting any waypoints or objectives. This is so shoddy. Okay, we got some friendlies. Grenade? No, it's just a bit on the ground. It's always fun to check the loot. Time until next wave. Oh, okay. 1 of 3. So I should run around and check out the loot before they spawn in then. Oh, I didn't know it was that kind of mission. Okay. Come on, lads! Run for your lives! Let's see what's in here. Oh, Scalpel Sniper. Dead Rig Shotgun. Get him. Okay, shoot the gun into this guy. I see. I'll just grab a magazine really quick. Get down, man. Now I want to try that shotgun. There it is. Dead Rig Shotgun. I think this is like a pyro item. No, I got one guy left. I think they're all downstairs, though. Ouch. Take that. And... Ooh, that's a lot. Oh, come on now. This shotgun's terrible. Oh wow, I'm at 4. I'm at... Oh! Yeah, that shotgun is not good. I don't like it. I know, I was trying. I always bring up the radial though, it's just force of habit. I was actually trying to pull out a med pen because I was at 0% blood, but yet still alive, so like, oh. Ouch. Trespassing? Bullshit. Private property? I call malarkey. Oh, and lo and behold, look, like, you get shot at. Well, looks like I can't get my stuff back. See, this is so dumb. You die, but yet you're at the same location. Like, you should still have the mission. You know what? Fine. Traitors, all of them. Oh, sure. Okay, fine. Thank you. I guess this is the thanks I get for trying to defend you guys. You bastards blew my ship up. I have half a mind to knock you guys out. Hi, how you doing? I'm over here now. You can't get me. I'm getting my ammo back before I, like, die. Hello? Hello? Come get me. You know, I'm gonna dump the shotgun. I don't like it. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run around and loot. Like, look at that. Look. It took little to no amount of effort. Like, little to no effort to kill the guy with a headshot at reasonable range. You die. Die now. You're shooting at me, but I know. I'm not done looting. You could kill me after I'm done looting. Because when I die, I'm going to get sent to prison. And at least that way, when I die... Hello, how you doing? When I die, I'll still have all the loot on me. Because they save your stuff when you get killed. They confiscate it. Running around looking for the loot. Not really good loot gen for this kind of round. Unimpressive boxes. I'll take this though. Where'd he go? I was wanting to check on him. See if it was okay. I'm trying to be very thorough with these boxes, because sometimes they are cheeky and put them on things that you don't really look for, and you typically miss them. Oh, he's just running a place like a good lad he is. Nope, no boxes there. So I want to be thorough. Upstates? I don't know what that word is. Oh, I was still carrying Animus munitions. Well, I guess I will grab the dead rig shotgun. Even though I do find it very useless. Wait, I saw that Pisces. Well, I don't know. Will they shoot me if they go in there? The Pisces was left unattended. And the door was open from what I saw. Look at him. Patrolling and wandering around. It was me coming through. What's that? I'm getting that instead of this. Gimme. Mine now. Alright, let's check out the Pisces. Thankfully, these guys are dumb. I see that as they're drilling me in the back. And the Pisces is disabled. The Gladius looks like it's functional. There's no way to operate it, isn't there? Alley-oop. I'm pretty sure as soon as I get, like, even if I could, like, fly this ship, pretty sure the turrets are just gonna shoot at me. Oh. Well, you know what? It's worth a try, you know. Yep. There. Yeah. Called it. That's so dumb. I knew I was gonna die, but might as well try. It just goes to show how unappreciative ArcCorp is when it comes to their contractors. You die on the job, but yet you still are at location. They'd be like, well, he died once. Get him out of here. Blow his ship up. Mm-hmm. Boop, beep, boop, beep. Running start and then oop. It's never good if you fall down into the pit below. Doubles your what's it called? Sentence time. All right. Maintenance opportunity. Are you gonna show the mission? Yeah. That's not even tracked. Why wouldn't it track automatically? Depth 9. Steal the rocks. No, I got a better idea. Since I was thrown in prison for trespassing, the maximum sentence time I'm going to assume is around an hour or 30 minutes. So just running around and doing this one mission will basically get me out of prison right then and there. I don't like bothering with the mining and the rocks and stuff because honestly it's not enough. It's quicker to do that this way is how I feel. And if you get too deep, just suicide. It doesn't add to your sentence. It's a guy. Hello, little guy. That's a dead end. No, I didn't check. I always get mixed around in these caves sometimes. Oh, what, killing the NPCs and stuff? Nah, I don't bother with that. There it is, depth 2. I thought that's where I came from. Archmegosmoda. Oh, it's Archegos. Yup. Dead end. I always struggle to find the branches. It's like there's two right there. Yep, there it is. The light was blocking it. This is why you don't second guess yourself too much. You'll miss out on things like that. That should have been obvious. Or could have been obvious if you stepped a little bit further. Depth 9. Look at him go. Little yellow man. The little humble worker bee. Bananas and apples. Though, if I come across an NPC at depth 9, and there is no radar, I guess I could kill or knock out a NPC for the funnies. Or have a witty joust with the mining laser with another player if there's one. Of course, after I fix the console, that is. We can still have a witty joust. My ship exploded. Oh wait, I'm gonna get sent back to Hurston, because that's my backup spawn location. Oh no. It's whatever, it's fine. Wrong way. There it is. Jump over the rocks, don't stub your toes. Do you think these spacesuits all have steel toes? I would like to assume they have steel toes. For me, that would make sense. Alright, we're at depth 9, looking for the console now. There it is. Aw, it broke. Oh no, the steam! Ah! I like to imagine that's what happens when you fix these consoles. When you press vent, it just vents all the scorching hot air or gas into your direction, and it just burns you alive. Or just blatantly explodes. Ooh, stretch. Worms. Jump. Boop. And now we check our thing. Congratulations, I'm free. Darn right I'm free. Oh no, he's cowering. What's the matter? Flashlight in your face? Open. Oh my goodness. So much stuff. I love the litter. That's one thing I love about persistent items and stuff. Even with server meshing. I just love seeing all the litter that people make. It's just so silly. Like you go, like you spawn at Hurston or whatever location you're at, and you go to a spaceport. There's just bodies everywhere, boxes, bodies, and bits and bobs scattered all over the place. It's so silly. Oh, I'm at Bajini. That is a joyous time. And I have all my stuff still. Huzzah! It worked out. Mission accomplished. It's what I planned all along. I purposely died because I wanted to have an exciting adventure. And certainly not accidentally get killed because I was using a not very great weapon. Nervously glances side to side like in the cartoons. Where are you going? I knew that was an NPC. Wait a minute, where's the terminals? There it is. No, I'm at Everest. Well, I'm at Everest. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. It's better than being sent down to, what's it called? Lorville. But I was kind of hoping to be back at Bajini since I was doing stuff over there. But that's okay, that's okay. While I'm here, I'm going to purchase some... I'm going to buy a replacement box to replace the box I lost. And I will put a claim on the tack, and then I'll call it there. Because I need to go to the bathroom. Okay. Did I even leave to go use the restroom? I can't remember. No, I didn't. There we go. Box has been replaced. Ayup. You know, that's the nice thing about Everest Harbor versus Bajini Point is that they actually have an armor shop that you could buy weapons at and ammo. I miss Port Olisar. They had everything you needed. Ship parts, weapons, personal weapons, and personal armor. Everything you could have needed. But then they had to get rid of it because it was too old. Though I think they should bring it back somewhere. Put it in Pyro. There you go. Or put it somewhere in Stanton. They misplaced Port Olisar and had to replace it with a new station. My tack is still intact. After they blew it up. You know what? I like to think that that's Hurston versus ArcCorp. It's like, hey, these guys blew up your ship. Tough break. Well, guess what? We covered your costs. Hi, there she is. Now the question is, does it still have the little box inside? It doesn't, but that's okay. I bought a replacement box. All is good. All is right in the world. Oop. Yup. Yup. Alright. I'm gonna store the attack really quick, and I will call it that and I will conclude this stream. Down she goes. You know, that's nice. At least I didn't have to put a claim on the ship after they blew it up over at ArcCorp. I'm not interested in ArcCorp bunker missions anymore. No, I'm still am. I'm just being funny. Alright. That will conclude it. That concludes the streams. Hope you guys enjoyed the streams, and I will see you guys next time whenever I stream again. When and if ever, whatever, you know. So y'all have a good one.